The Titans' season continued to spiral out of control on Family Day, suffering a blowout loss at the hands of the London Lightning. But if there's one situation where KW has had success this year, it's been against the Edge, at home, picking up 2 of their 4 wins this season against St. John's here at the Odd. Hello everyone, and welcome inside the Kitchener Memorial Auditorium. Ian Jodry and Dan Paulchuk with you here for this Wednesday night edition of NBL Canada Basketball. The transaction deadline has come and gone. The Titans with a couple of moves to reshape their roster, but only a month and a half left in the season. They are going to need to string together some kind of run.
Absolutely. Well, as they sit at 4-20 in the campaign, on the outside looking in, as they really have been all season long. But they are indeed welcoming back Cavell Johnson, who is dressed here at the Odd wearing, well, we were going to say his original number 28, but he is wearing number 32 here for the Titans this evening. The other addition for them, Dominic Phillips, a young point guard who had some time at training camp with the Moncton Miracle, or Moncton Magics, I should say, picked up just before that transaction deadline. And he's a player that head coach Serge Langis says plays with a lot of grit, pretty raw, but certainly young and hungry and out to prove himself, and had a former MVP, a league MVP, vouch for him. We'll get into that a little later. On the other side of things, St. John's welcoming a pair of bodies, although they both remain inactive. Anthony Stover and Xavier Ford not listed on tonight's lineup card, and these are 2 guys that could be impact players down the road for the St. John's Edge, and certainly why head coach Jeff Dunlap added them to the roster. Certainly always nice to have a little bit more depth, especially this late in the season too.
Cavell Johnson, of course, returning. Played for 3 teams, including the Titans, in the National Basketball League of Canada. Spent some time in St. John as well as in Orangeville and Brampton before making his way back to KW.
And an interesting point on Cavell as well. He had been living in the GTA, Brampton specifically, for those tuning in who might know the area, but not too far down the road, about a 40-minute drive here from Kitchener-Waterloo. And he actually was very near to signing on with the armed forces, and joining the military is in his long-term plans, and they were able to convince him just to stave off those plans just for a little bit longer. And head coach Serge Langis again is hoping that it changes kind of the mentality and the vibe in the locker room. Not that it was negative by any means, but just adding that, again, veteran presence, vocal presence, and clearly what he can do on the floor is defend at the rim. So we've seen many instances where they've needed that extra presence. Derek Hall has been doing it, but he's only one man. And with Kevin Rogers inactive here this evening, alongside Darren Duncan, the Titans needed those extra bodies too.
Johnson played in 39 games last year, but started just 6. He'll be on the bench in his return to the Titans tonight. The Edge are going from left to right on your screens at home in their navy jerseys with gold trim. Meanwhile, the Titans going from right to left in their home whites. Carl English right out of the gates knocks down the jumper. English was inactive in the last trip for St. John's here to KW, that school day game in January, where the Titans ended up picking their 4th win of the season up against St. John's.
And I would feel that Derek Hall here is going to be really zoned in, as didn't see much action there on Family Day. Ran into some foul troubles as there's a 3-ball missed by the Edge.
2 looks already for the Edge on this drive, and they score on the 3rd one. Desmond Lee, a couple offensive rebounds and a quick 4-0 start for St. John's.
Exactly what you want from your team on the road, as St. John's looks to wrap up their road swing here with another W after a nice comeback against the Windsor Express.
Starks the straightaway 3, puts it in. Ahmad Starks from deep. Titans relied a lot on that 3-ball on Monday night's game, especially in the early going, and they were getting them to drop, but in the end just ran out of gas. Horton in transition, can't get it to drop. Hinkle was able to get back defensively to help. Here's Lee cutting through the lane and can't get it to go. He was trying to work around Justin Hurt defensively, and the Titans forcing back-to-back misses on defense. Here's Starks. Goes off the screen from Hall for three again. Ahmad Starks rattles it in. Back-to-back three-pointers. The Titans have their first lead tonight.
Last game, Starks didn't quite look himself, but boy, he's riding the ship here in the early going with 2 threes back-to-back.
Here's Alex Johnson. Entry pass is now Lee cuts through, and the soft two-hand flush ties it at 6. Nice ball movement there from the edge after 2 straight empty trips up the floor.
And Lee averaging just shy of 11 points a game. Easy look for him there.
Hurt. Outside, Hall, the long 2. Won't go.
Good distribution there for the Titans, finding Hall for that quick jumper. League's leading rebounder, though. Doesn't drain it.
Here's Charles Hinkle. Had an excellent season so far for St. John's. English, the baseline drive, then works it out to Hinkle for 3 and puts it in. Those two have been hooking up all year long, and this time it gives St. John's the 9-6 lead.
And it's always nice when you can have 2 guys. You mentioned Carl English, but with Hinkle averaging over 20 points a game, too.
Starks wide open, too, and off the mark. Starks knocked down his first 2 shots of the game from deep that time. Couldn't get the long 2 to drop, and Hinkle for 3. Rattles it in. Hinkle, as he falls down, gets the drop. A big three-pointer from Hinkle. It's a 12-6 edge lead.
Titans with a mismatch there on the switch as Starks tried to challenge with a hand in the face, but Hinkle able to drain it, even falling away, as the Titans, though, with a quick response. Ed Horton, the man.
Horton, the nice move inside at 25 in Monday's loss to the Lightning, and that was coming on the tail end of a back-to-back. The front end was held scoreless in 22 minutes of action, so a big bounce-back performance. The problem was the rest of the team was having their fair share of difficulties on Monday. Hurt for 3, way off the mark. Hall trying to save it, but out of luck. It'll be St. John's ball, up 6.
That would have been tough, as Tremar Sutherland was the closest Titan, and even then he was beyond the arc, near sideline. As they're going run and gun here at the start, some good pace here in the early going.
And the first foul call of the game, that's going to go on Horton, his first.
And that's on English, as got a little overzealous there, getting up on Carl English, who's looked pretty good since returning from that injury of his. Nose injury, and from other reports, concussion on top of that.
Johnson with 5 on the shot clock, out to Hinkle. Pump fake, and Horton forced to commit a foul. That's 2 fouls on Horton in less than a minute, and now Coach Langis has a decision to make. Does he pull him and bring someone in? Of course, short benched with Kevin Rogers and Darren Duncan both inactive tonight. Shot clock resets to 14 for the Edge. Johnson. Hinkle, 5 to shoot. Pulls up for 3 and puts in another. Charles Hinkle shooting the lights out to start the game. And St. John's up 9 early.
And with that head now, you know, he's playing with a lot of confidence, especially here tonight. As Sutherland's lay-in attempt doesn't go.
Sutherland, the drive and the miss. And the long rebound to English. Johnson leaves it for him. English gets the separation, but can't get the jumper to drop.
That's a tough one for the former Canadian national team member. Wide open look, usually hits those, as Starks will get another 3.
Starks gets a step back 3 to drop. The Titans already 3 for 4 from beyond the arc, all off the hands of Ahmad Starks. He's hit all 3. Hinkle from deep, finally a miss. But it looks like Sutherland got tied up with English, and he's going to get called for his first foul tonight.
That's actually his second after picking up that one a moment ago against, or on his defense on Carl English. So
it'll be 1 on Horton and 2 on Sutherland. And indeed, they'll make a move. Anthony Miles is going to check in, just his second game here at home for the Titans. So far since being acquired, Miles averaging 7 points, just under 8 in his 3 appearances.
And not even midway through the first quarter of play, we've got a pair of players with a pair of fouls who've headed off now. And as we alluded to, foul issues were at the forefront in their last game for the Titans.
Horton inside, gets tied up and draws the foul. That one is going to go on Ryan Reed. It'll be his first.
That pass worked inside nicely as Horton able to get a bit of the inside edge on him. There, Reed trying to just swat it away, and he knew it afterwards.
Horton playing in his 10th game since making his return to Kitchener-Waterloo. About 11.5 points per game so far this season, largely in part that 25-point outing on Monday on the season, and 87% free throw shooter. And Horton steps up to the line, misses the second, but Derek Hall, the rebound, can't get it to drop. Third chance, can't get that to drop. Fourth is good.
Fourth time's a charm. Have we used that one before? You have to appreciate his tenacity, though, on the play. As the big man got up and got it.
A mini 6-0 run has the Titans back within one possession. Here's Johnson out to English. Quick release, long two, and he'll get it to drop. English wanted a three. He had Miles draped all over him. Not a high percentage look, but...
And he and Miles exchanged some words, all in good nature there, as he's pleading for that foul call. Miles saying, nah, I don't think so, my friend. We'll keep it at that basket, just rattled in.
Hurt the entry pass to Hall, working on Reed. The step back gets it to drop. Back-to-back buckets by Derek Hall, keeping the Titans on pace within one score.
Keep feeding the big man here.
Titans already allowing 19 points and just past the midway point first quarter. Reed for two. We'll get it to drop.
Getting a lot of love from the rim in the backboard here, aren't they?
Both sides have so far. 21-16, edge on top. Just over 5 minutes to go. This opening frame. Here's Horton. Works over to Miles, rolls off the screen with the left hand. Horton, long jumper, off the mark, long rebound is into the hands of Desmond Lee. Johnson. Over to Lee. Watched by Hurt defensively. English contested jumper, and he'll head to the line. The question is it for two or three? And yes, it will be
two.
Just for two. 21-16. Edge with the lead, and Carl English will be heading the line for a pair when we come back. Ron Williams and Grandy Glaze both in the game for St. John's. A couple of changes as well for KW. Nigel Titer and Greg Morrow. We get their first look, and It's English at the line for a pair.
Is Hinkle off to a great start here for St. John's. 9 points already, and last 2 games against the Titans, totaling 49 points. So that 24.5 point per game percentage could very well be matched or exceeded here this evening. We'll see how it plays out.
Miles, wide open lane of the hoop, and he gets it to roll. Nice little hand switch at the end, finishes with the left, and once again brings KW within 5. They trailed a substantial amount early on, but have clawed their way back, that mini 6-0 run, and have kept pace since. Here's Glaze outside to English. English to step back 3 in the corner, puts it in. Kyle English from deep. English was quiet in his first visit to the odd, and of course inactive the second time with the injury, and that's going to be the key as Titer flies in for the putback jam. But to finish that thought, got to limit Carl English if you're going to have any chance at beating this St. John's team.
And there you saw Nigel Titer getting up for the putback slam, and he's coming off his first career NBL Canada double-double. There's a whistle on the play, and that's going to be good. They're calling the basket on that, and the harm coming up.
So the foul was away from the ball. There was a question at first as Hinkle got it to drop. And you could hear the explanation there from the official. Fouls on the defense, but he still got the shot to drop. Doesn't matter if it was on the shooter or not. So it'll remain edge basketball as they take a 9-point lead. Hinkle again puts it in. Charles Hinkle back-to-back threes.
Doing some damage, are the edge from distance, and putting on a clinic right now from beyond the arc.
Oh, what a pass inside to Titer.
Great.
He draws the foul.
Great touch indeed, as Titer getting fouled on his way up.
It's one thing that they always talk about in basketball. Miles won't pick up an assist there, as he'll have to earn his points at the free throw line, but that is as close as you can get to an assist. Great entry pass from Miles as Titer have a chance to earn his points at the free throw line. Ahmad Starks heads off. Horton back into the game.
And just prior to Titer stepping up here to the free throw line, you could hear him from the sidelines where we're at, just saying, we need to pick it up. Let's talk on defense, please. And that's certainly been a struggle. The communication on that side of the ball for the KW Titans all season long hasn't been consistent enough, and one of the main reasons why they're sitting at 16 games under 500.
Titer 0 for 2 at the free throw line, so the edge lead remains 12, 32-20, and it's amounted in a hurry. A big part thanks to that man, Charles Hinkle. 15 points already.
Might be one of those nights.
Lee dices through and goes out of bounds, and it will go back to the Titans. Glaze ends up picking up his first foul on the play. So forgot to mention that Wally Ellenson has checked in for the edge. Here's Morrow getting his first touch tonight. Horton trying to roll off that screen from Titer. Out to Morrow, open look for 3. A little short. Ellenson takes a stumble at midcourt. Titer got up to deflect the pass, so the edge will reset with 19 on the shot clock, and Russell Bird checking back into the game, this time as a member of the visiting squad. Of course, started the year with KW, now making his return.
Former Michigan State Spartan.
Glaze to Bird for 3, off the mark. You know he wanted that one.
He was working extra hard on those threes in the warm-up, I think more than he typically has in the past, that we've seen him anyways.
Hurt the drive and draws the foul. Grandy Glaze is going to pick up his second, it appears. No, it's actually going to go on Bird. So Bird picks up foul number 1, as that would have been the second on Glaze, so dodging a bullet there. Jamar Sutherland, the lone player with a pair of fouls so far, and found his way to the bench in a hurry. Justin Hurt steps up and drills his first free throw on the season. Hurt An 87% free throw shooter, goes 2 for 2 this time around.
Going back to Bird for a second, coming off back-to-back double-digit performances. High of 15 points since joining St. John's. He's got the ball right now as he dishes off.
Stepping into a 2 and knocking down the long jumper is Cron Williams, restores the 12-point St. John's lead. Horton, Miles, the drive, back out to Horton. Open look for 3, but can't get it to roll.
So much traffic there in the key, and you saw Anthony Miles think about it at first as he put the ball on the floor, and there another deuce for the Edge. Saw him think about it, then he had to pull back. And the Titans, as they've done most of this quarter, had to settle for the long-distance shot.
Morrow, Horton, got the defender to bite, drives, and has it stripped away.
And that's why they're so hesitant to go there.
Hinkle to steal. Back to Hinkle. The drive with the left hand, works it into the corner to a young fan in the front row, and that'll go as second turnover today for St. John's. A couple substitutions as Hinkle finally checks off, and what an opening for him. 15 points already. Also get our first look at Ransford Brempong tonight. Derek Hall also checking back in, along with Denzel James for KW. Foul called that time. It's going to go on Brempong, just seconds into the game, picks up his first. And now one more will put the Titans in bonus situation. 1:07 to play here in the first. Another foul called. And that one's going to be on Cron Williams, and that means free throws.
And Brempong, the Brampton native, played for Western Carolina. And as well, played overseas in the Netherlands and Germany. 36-year-old veteran of the game. Seeing some floor time now.
Mentioned Ed Horton coming off a game-high 25-point effort on Monday. Steps up and 2 for 2 from the free throw line.
That was his best offensive output since his very first game as a KW back in 2016 rather. Or by that time, I guess it was 2017, the start of 2017.
Yeah, 16-17 season was when he dropped that big performances in his debut. Miles almost had it poked away, instead flies in. Oh, tries to go with the finish at the end, can't get it to go. Ball straight up in the air. Hall fighting for it, and in the hands of Williams.
Made it a little tougher for himself in the air. I think he was surprised that he got the ball back after having lost it. And then in a prime position just to lay it in. Complete mismatch.
Bird down low, and it's Brempong who finishes it off. Credit Russell Bird with the assist. And St. John's, a 14-point lead here in the first quarter. The Titans can try and cut into it here. The shot clock's off 5 seconds ago. Horton drives, draws the foul, and count it, plus the foul. Ed Horton a chance for a three-point play.
And the veteran trying to spark his team a little bit as the bench has come on here for the Titans in the form of Denzel James and now Greg Morrow too. Looking for a bit of a spark. Down 12 at the moment. 38 first quarter points.
Horton.
That's tough to give up. Make it 39 now, obviously.
Ellenson trying to fight for it out of bounds, and he stepped out. So the Titans will get it just past the timeline with 2 seconds left. And indeed, they want to talk things over. They're going to get the ball back with 2 seconds left and a chance to bring themselves back within single digits. 2 seconds left. Titans still not out of the huddle. On to defend for the Edge. Bird, Brempong, Ellenson, Glaze, and Williams. Excuse me, Jaron Skeet into the game now.
And this Titans defense, second last in the NBL Canada, just over 110 points allowed per game, already 38 in this first quarter, and maybe trying to just at least get a couple more of their own here, and that certainly didn't work out as drawn up, as it was tipped there on the inbounds pass by Ed Horton.
Horton right into the hands of Skeet, comes in the game and does a job defensively, forces the turnover, and the Edge up 11 after the first 12 minutes.
That's it,
Edge up 11 after the first 12 minutes, and in case you missed the top of the show, the Titans, of course, adding a few players after the transaction deadline, but a few inactives as well, and some key players out due to injury.
Darren Duncan out of today's game day-to-day, as head coach Serge Land just mentioned, with a hamstring injury he's been dealing with for a while, and Kevin Rogers also inactive. That Achilles has been an issue, and we only saw him play limited minutes on Family Day. That's certainly a big blow to this Titans offense.
Rogers had to leave the first quarter of that Family Day game after dropping a season-high 36 points on Sunday. But Ed Horton stepping up today. Count it, plus the foul, a chance for another three-point play for Horton.
That play he came out with, or that effort he came out with on Monday, carrying over here tonight into his play. And now the officials having a bit of discussion with Jeff Dunlap here near side after the foul call.
That's Hinkle having some words as well, who knocked down 5 3-pointers in that first quarter, scoring all of his points from downtown, 15 already. English, 9 of his own, and those two off to a hot start. Horton completing the three-point play, cuts the Edge lead down to 8.
Needless to say, he's the team's leading scorer after one quarter of play. Almost starts with 9 points and 9 minutes played. Derek Hall, 4 points, 7 rebounds already on the night.
Hinkle from deep, off the mark, but the long rebound right in the hands of Desmond Lee, and a fresh shot clock for St. John's.
The Edge shooting 60% from the field in that opening frame. Not to mention 60% from beyond the arc as well. Another turnover.
English looks like he's just trying to drift into the corner, but lost it. Rolls out of bounds, and that is just the 4th turnover tonight for the Edge. Horton across the timeline. He has Denzel James back on the floor with him at the 2, along with Sutherland, Miles, and Hall. Here's the big man down low. Back out to James. James with 2 to shoot, an open look for 3. Puts it in. Denzel James from deep, and it's a 5-point game.
Some good confidence shown there by James, getting a bit of a pick there from Hall, and Hall gave him a bit of a point there afterwards, saying, way to take advantage of that. Open look, and look good nailing it.
English off the mark. James the rebound, and the Titans with a chance to bring themselves back within 1 score. James drives, kick out to Horton, and a foul going to be called that time. And indeed, it's going to go on Ryan Reed, so he picks up his 2nd. The Edge make a move. Skeet checks out of the game. Alex Johnson back in. Titans inbound with 15 to shoot. Here's Tramar Sutherland. Watched by Lee and working on our perimeter. Here's Horton. Horton, crossover, long 2, and sinks it. Nice play by Horton, who had Johnson on him defensively, and it's a 3-point game.
Little fadeaway J there from Uncle Ed, as he's nicknamed back from his days with London Lightning, and we're trying to carry that over. I don't know how it's caught on around here in KW, but we'll stick with it.
Reed off the defensive lapse, finds himself open for 2 and knocks it down. Puts an end to the Titans' short run offensively. 40-35, the Edge with the lead. James into the corner. Miles contested look. Off the mark. Long rebound, but English on it.
Titans have to continue attacking the rim. Down by as many as 14 at one point. Only a 5-point deficit. You have to keep clawing at it.
Here's Johnson. Gets the screen from Reed. Leaves it for him. Long 2. Puts it in. Back-to-back jumpers knocked down by Ryan Reed. 42-35, St. John's. Horton. Right-hand dribble, works it down low. Miles, entry pass to Hall. Hall backing his way in the paint. Out to Miles, thought about it, but 5 to shoot. Drives, throws it up. Difficult shot and didn't make its way there.
Not to mention it was blocked, I think, there by Hinkle, and a foul on the other end.
James got back and would have been a highlight reel block, but instead he's going to get called for his first foul of the night. Justin Hurt going to check back into the ball game.
They need him to get going here. Justin Hurt has provided some offense, obviously, with his time. Brief stint with the Titans thus far, and he's been dealing with some of his own injury issues. That left hand still taped up pretty heavily. Hurt's left shooting hand, I should add.
Absolutely. Hurt's 7 games played, has started 4 of them, and has averaged just under 18 points in those 7 contests. So a good start in his tenure with the Titans.
Just 2 points here tonight, though.
Lee 2 for 2 at the line. Bird going to check back into the game as Reed heads off. Horton tries to roll off that screen from Hall, who works down low now. Gets the entry pass, and they might have said he pushed off. No, it's going to go on St. John's.
Yeah, it'll be
and it's Bird picking up his 2nd.
Thank you. I was just going to say the former Titan picking up his 2nd of the night, and more fouls and points at the moment for Russell Bird.
Bird knows that matchup better than anyone. He's a tough man to guard down low, and Hall able to establish his position, and Bird called for his 2nd. 10 to shoot now. James out to Hurt. Hurt one-on-one with Hinkle. Cross up over to Horton for 3. Puts it in. Ed Horton. His first 3-pointer tonight, but it's points 14, 15, and 16 for him. And it's 44-38.
Game high 16 now for Ed Horton, who's feeling pretty good out there and really finding his groove. Nice, we're finally starting to see that Ed Horton rather than the one that's kind of slow to get going in his second go-around here with KW.
It was just 2 games ago that he started, played 22 minutes, but did not find the score sheet in a game where the Titans dropped 133 points. Lee for 3, no good.
Forcing a tough shot there from the edge. Some good defense being shown by KW.
Hurt the drive. Low percentage look there.
But that's some great defense again. Alex Johnson that time keeping Hurt to the outside after he tried putting a body on him, and Johnson was having none of it. Force a tough floater, and it goes the other way.
Still just a 2-score game. Bird, the step back 3 off the mark and into the hands of Sutherland, and Bird a slow go, 0 for 2 from the field so far. Sutherland in transition, and Russell Bird going to pick up foul number 3.
That's some insult to injury there as misses the shot on one end and comes back to take the body hard. Unfortunately for him, the officials deemed him not having his feet set, and he's going to head off now. Wally Ellenson and Brempong as well coming back in for the edge.
Denzel James getting some extended minutes here tonight. He's made the most of them. Shamar Sutherland, good on the first. Sutherland picked up 2 quick fouls in the first quarter, but back on here in the mid stages of the second quarter.
First 2 points of the night right there for Sutherland.
Here's Alex Johnson. Hinkle had a heck of a first quarter, 15 points. Down low to Brempong against Hall. Contested jumper, no good. Good defense from Hall. And Sutherland with back-to-back rebounds and then a bit of a miscue. It wasn't necessarily a bad pass by Sutherland. Hall was wide open, but just appeared to be a step ahead of himself, was looking back up court. Regardless, the Titans have cut the lead to 4 with 6:38 to go in the first half. The Edge led by as many as 14 in that first quarter, but Titans have clawed their way back. 44-40 now. It's Alex Johnson, the ball carrier. 10 to shoot. Watched by Horton, rolls off the screen, pass to Hinkle. Out to Johnson, open look from deep. And he'll get it to roll.
We've seen a few of those already. And surprise, surprise, the hand it's coming off of getting the friendly roll. That's just 9 second quarter points, though, up to this point for St. John's.
Still find themselves up 7. James into the corner. Sutherland, the pump fake, the baseline J, and he'll get it to drop.
The Titans need a strong closeout to this quarter as well. It's all fair and good if we can get it close, but can they tie, maybe overtake here?
Down low, here's Brempong up against the big man Derek Hall. The turnaround, a bad looking shot, but it ends up finding Ellenson. His second shot off the mark. Lots of contact, wants a call, doesn't get it. Horton to James. Oh, what a pretty move.
Ed Horton creating there with a bit of a slashing move into the paint, and then the handoff to James for the easy lay-in.
Horton 16 points already. That's just his second assist, but a big one. It's a one-score game. English down low. Brempong and the offensive foul. The charge called on Ransford Brempong, his second foul of the game. The Titans a chance to pull within one or tie it on this next drive.
And this crowd here getting a little louder with their team now. All of a sudden down to one possession deficit. Amon Starks going to check back in, and Ed Horton will get a bit of a breather. What a quarter he's had, and really a ball game. He's put this team on his back and brought them all the way back. We'll see what these subs can do now to keep it going.
Quick pass, Sutherland to Titer, balls on the floor, and Johnson able to recover. Not the possession they wanted right after making the substitution. Johnson behind the back, Hinkle three, no good. And a great look, but couldn't get the drop. In transition, Hurt leaves it, Starks for the tie. Rims out, long rebound, and Johnson's got it. Edge with numbers back the other way. English transition three, it's good. Carl English been rather limited tonight, still has 12 points. This time puts St. John's back up 6. Titer, use it for Hurt. In the corner, draws the double team. Hurt, pass out Sutherland the straight away for a long two, but no good.
And Titer getting tangled up here with Ellenson, and
it's on Ellenson.
Yeah.
Wally Ellenson gonna get called for his second foul of the game.
As he had positioned down low, and then as Titer was trying to get back up the floor to play some defense, ripped his arm loose, and Ellenson hit the deck, but
so it looks like they're going to offset, actually. Fouls called on Titer and on Ellenson. That'll be Titer's first.
And the Edge now down to 50% shooting after a 60% first quarter. 8 of 16 from beyond the arc. Almost half their shots coming from beyond the arc.
4 to play in the half. Johnson, high arcing shot won't go, but into the hands of Ellenson. Turnaround hook will go.
It's a nice response there from 33.
Nice play by Ellenson after Johnson's shot was well short. And the Edge once again find a way to get that lead back up to 8. Starks out to Hurt. Watched by Ellenson. A foul called away from the ball. It's going to go on Grandy Glaze. It's his second.
Much more concerted effort here by the Titans tonight. We don't see them get to the free throw line with much consistency throughout the season, but here tonight, certainly with the advantage in that category.
That's right. That foul right there, puts the Edge in the penalty. And the Titans just 2 in the quarter. Yeah, they still got a few to give.
The Edge are perfect, but just 4 for 4 from the stripe. Titans looking to go 11 of 14 right here.
You could look at that 2 different ways as a head coach. Sometimes you want to make the opposing team work for your buckets at time. You want to play no layup defense, and sometimes a foul is a good thing. But at the same time, if you can keep your players out of foul trouble at this point and still remain within striking distance, I'm sure any head coach will take that. 52-46 as Titer steps up and drops both after going 0 for 2 on his first trip to the line. So back to a 2-score game.
Derek Hall with his 8 rebounds. Looking to add to those totals before halftime. Season high 21.
And there it is. English was looking for that.
Get Hinkle teed up here as well.
Oh, and Charles Hinkle picks up the technical foul. Hinkle, that will go his second. And the Edge going to get together and huddle. That's coming off a turnover where English was trying to feed Reed down low but couldn't handle the pass. A couple costly ones, so of course the technical Hurt will shoot, and then the Titans will retain possession of the ball.
And with these free throws upcoming, good time to mention to keep those comments coming on the live stream. We'd like to get to those as we can throughout the ball game. Give us your thoughts, comments, and questions. And it's been great conversation going on already. And to Michael Kennedy's question, Stover still inactive here this evening, along with Xavier Ford for the Edge.
We're going to be excited to get Stover, of course, a shot-blocking specialist out of UCLA. A few seasons with the St. John Riptide. And
certainly an alum there and his head coach now. Although that apparently didn't play a factor in that signing.
Hurt contested three, puts it in. Justin Hurt from deep, and it's back to a 2-point game. Under 3 to go. Wally Ellenson. Out to Desmond Lee. Lee, the pass to Reed. Reed on Hall, and Hall is going to get called for his first.
Bit of a push there from the big man. And for Hall, that's his first. At this point, last game, he already had 4, and I'd say at least 2 of those were very, very borderline, to put it mildly.
And indeed, the catalyst so far tonight, Ed Horton checking back into the ball game. Titans still with a few fouls to give. Williams in the corner, drifts out to his right and looks down low. Reed backing in on Hall, turnaround jumper, drops it in.
Not much more that Hall could have done there. Just good looking shot from Reed. Some tough work down low.
Starks, the jumper won't go. Hall fighting for the rebound out to Hurt. Pump fake, jumper, also off the mark.
Good patience there from Hurt to get the defender off his feet and get some spacing.
And Karan Williams, the straightaway 3, responds. Quick 5-0 run by the Edge restores that 7-point advantage.
First 3-pointer of the night. 7 points on the evening as well now.
Horton leaves it for Hurt. 10 to shoot. Horton watched by Wally Ellenson defensively. Horton going to go right at him. Attacks with the left hand, but can't get the friendly roll.
As the Titans spread out 5 there and let Ed Horton do his thing as try to make something happen. Go in the middle of the lane.
Williams out to English. The drive has it poked away cleanly. Loose ball. Sutherland fighting for it. Ellenson jumper won't go. That's Reed on the follow-up. Sutherland in transition. Off the glass and in, soft touch. Wanted a call onto contact.
Kind of redemption there for Sutherland, though. He should have had that loose ball defensively anyways and gets 2 points back. Now a charge call. Starks forcing it.
Looked like an illegal screen. It's going to be called on Ryan Reed. That's going to be his 3rd foul. He's the first on the roster tonight to reach that besides Russell Bird. And he's going to have to head off. Granny Glaze checks back in. He's also playing with a pair of fouls. Just over a minute to go in the first half. Titans battle back after being down by 12 in that first quarter. Hall leaves it for Hurt. Thought about it. Crosses over on Glaze. But can't get the jumper to drop. Here's Carl English. Gets the screen, leaves it for Glaze. Out to Ellenson for 3. No good. Sutherland the rebound. 14 differential game clock, shot clock. Titans looking to go 2 for 1, but Glaze gets back for the massive rejection.
Tangle the body's baseline as the defender went flying in an emphatic swat into near bench. So 32.5 seconds left on the game clock. And the Titans are going to call a timeout here to talk things over. They've already have the deficit they were facing coming into the second quarter, and they at least like to get a few more here. Got to show some good patience on this possession.
32 seconds left. The inbound. Hall, count it, plus the foul. They're a call right out of the timeout. A chance for a three-point play.
Like that a lot. Attack, 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 and why not give it to the 7-footer there? And that's going to force another timeout, this time called by Jeff Dunlap, as we move on here in the latter stages of the second quarter.
Hall stepping to the free throw line, looking to complete the three-point play. It gets to roll. 59-55. They trailed by as many as 12 in the first, but have clawed their way back. A 6-second difference between the two clocks. James is going to tie up Skeet, knowing that still got a couple to give. Why not?
What a little defense will do. A 21-point second quarter compared to 38 in the first for St. John's. They might still tack on here with 20.4, plenty of time to go. But what was a 14-point lead down to just 4. Momentum with the Titans at the moment.
English has it poked away. James leaks it ahead for Hurt. Almost lost it, but now the Titans can hold for the last possession of the first half.
Great hands by Hurt there.
Horton, step back, drops it in. Edo Horton, the long two, 59-57, and that'll do it for the first half.
Nearly rips off his jersey there. He's feeling it, Ed Horton.
Horton having himself a day, 18 first half points. The Titans claw their way back, and it's just a 2-point game after 24 minutes.
incorrect as well. It is every 7 minutes, so no point of order. We will go to our final question. Final question. How many Canadians have at least one risk factor for heart disease and stroke? Is it 1 in 10, 9 in 10, 1 in 4, or 7 in 10?
1 in 4.
1 in 4 is incorrect. So our last question, you gonna guess?
Okay, 1 in 10.
Not 1 in 10, it's actually 9 in 10. So think about that. If it's 9 in 10, remember that you can go up and visit the Heart and Stroke
59-57, the Edge with the lead after 24 minutes. But it was much worse. They went up as many as 14 in that first quarter. The Titans clawed their way back. It's just a 2-point game. Ian and Dan with you here on this Wednesday night. The Edge looking to wrap up their Ontario road swing with a win. The Titans trying to snap a losing streak. And right off the first play, it's Ryan Reed inside, draws the foul from Ed Horton, who's going to get called for a second, and Horton had a heck of a first half.
Certainly did. 18 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, game high 18 points as well on 6 of 11 shooting. And really the question, top of mind anyways, for KW Titans fans is, can they keep that kind of performance going forward? That's been really the issue from their defensive lapses, just taking hold of that momentum and keeping it going, staying focused at the defensive end and then executing offensively. Pretty good game plan in that second quarter, and again, some good energy, and obviously the points that Ed Horton put forth certainly helped, and again, 8 boards from Derek Hall as well in that first half. So consistent there down low. Almost Starks, though, it's kind of a quiet 9 points he's pieced together here as he dishes off here to Horton up top.
Ryan Reed after the 2 free throws now is 14 points, but playing with 3 fouls. Hurt on the inside. A nice finish from Justin Hurt. This is second shot made of the game, and once again, 1 possession ball game, and losing it the other way was Hinkle, and Sutherland back the other way to score. All tied, 61 apiece.
Both teams pretty responsible with the basketball in that first half. 7 turnovers for St. John's, 5 for KW, although that one coming early for the Edge out of the break.
English for 3, no good. English was perfect from the 3-point line prior to that miss. And now the Titans with a chance to take the lead for the first time since the opening 2 minutes. Here's Derek Hall. Hall backing in, gets Reed in the air, tries to bank it in, gets his own rebound, and draws the foul. And it looks like that'll be number 4 on Reed.
Hall with a big grin on his face, albeit somewhat briefly, as he threw the ugly-looking shot. But hey, credit him. He followed it up and gave himself a chance and drew the foul. Now he heads to the line for a couple of easier attempts.
It's actually Carl English who gets charged with his second foul of the evening, so Reed still playing with just 3. Hall, good on number 1. Derek Hall leading the league in rebounds per game with over 10, the only one averaging double digits in rebounds. He had 9 in the first half. Goes 1 for 2 at the free throw line, 62-61 Titans with their first lead since the 10:02 mark of the first quarter when they were up 2.
The Central's player of the week just a couple weeks back. Strong Clayton has been pretty consistent, 435, although English gets around him there.
English right down Main Street, finishes with the finger roll. Hurt out to Sutherland, corner 3, no good.
Good look there from Sutherland, and Hurt doing a good job of getting that hot pass along the baseline, towing the line or just before the line to get that pass away.
Reed's long jumper rattles in and out. 63-62, a couple lead changes to start the second half. Here's Ed Horton, 18 already tonight. Horton against Hinkle. Down low to Hall, up top Starks, the pump fake on Lee. Starks drives, flips it up, but Lee had a beat on him and forced the miss. And then Hall forced to commit the foul at midcourt.
Which having numbers going the other way, and it's Hall taking the foul. That's his second personal.
Johnson, Hinkle simply lost it, but it rolls right into the hands of Reed. Sutherland diving for it, but he dives with it out of bounds, so it'll stay St. John's basketball with 16 to shoot.
mention, Hall's already got 12 double-doubles on the year, too.
English rolls off the screen, creates separation, but can't hit the three. Justin Hurt the rebound. Sutherland in transition. Horton. Hurt. Three ball. Bang! Justin Hurt from deep. 65-63. Kitchener-Waterloo out on top.
Horton scoring, Horton distributing there, and a good decision ultimately by Hurt, who had a glance over to his left and ultimately decided to take it himself.
Low pass, and it was last touched by Reed and out of bounds. That's turnover number 9 tonight on St. John's. And the Titans with a chance to stretch their lead.
Almost a third of those coming now in the third quarter here, as this hasn't been the start that the Edge would have liked. They continue to scuff a little bit, but the Titans a brain cramp of their own.
Horton, the miscue, throws that one right to the scorer's table, but I'm sure he'll be forgiven. 18 points already for Horton. Hinkle, turnaround for three, gets the roll. Charles Hinkle, it's his first points since the 15-point effort in the opening frame, but it gives the Edge the lead. Sutherland the drive, the left hand on English, can't finish. Hall trying to poke it back, but no good on the second effort.
Yeah, Sutherland's got to finish there right at the rim.
And now Ed Horton has picked up his third foul.
It's a tough one. You don't want to potentially lose him for extended minutes with that third foul now. Be a bit of decision time coming here soon for head coach Serge Langis.
Desmond Lee over to Hinkle. The drive draws the foul, and Justin Hurt is going to get charged with his first tonight.
Yeah, he knew it almost immediately. Some good speed shown there, and advantage to the Edge on that play as Hinkle will step up to the line now for his first free throws of the night, in fact.
Hinkle, no good on number one. Mentioned Charles Hinkle, second leading scorer on the team with over 21 per game, and averages 84% at the line, goes 1 for 2 that time around. Puts the Edge back up a pair. Ed Horton gonna head off. Denzel James back in, who had a positive first half, 5 points. James to Hall. Hall against Reed. Into the corner for James with 10 to shoot. Trying to give it back to Hall. It was kicked out of bounds, so it'll remain Titans ball, and they'll get 14 on the shot clock. Alex Johnson heads off. Karan Williams back into the game for St. John's.
They're English able to step in the passing lane as trying to get it into Hall there.
Off the inbound, Hurt. Here's Ahmad Starks. He's got Williams on him. Starks, the drive, and kicks out to James. James back to Starks. Corner three. No good. Sutherland trying to poke it up and in, but the Edge able to control it.
Tough shot for Starks to try and make there. He had to just throw it up and hope for some help down low. It wasn't coming.
Lee steps into a triple, but front rims it. Hurt in transition, holds, drives, tries to leave it for Hall. It was last touched by a dark blue jersey, so it'll stay KW basketball.
And the bench of the Edge not impressed with that last trip up the floor for them, as almost immediately after crossing midcourt, they're throwing up a three. Not the kind of possession you want as quick as it was.
Carl English heads to the bench. Wally Ellenson into the game for the Edge. Greg Morrow is also in for Kitchener-Waterloo.
After getting off to a hot start from beyond the arc, Ahmad Starks held off the score sheet. He had those three in the first quarter.
And nothing since.
Nope.
Works over to James, 5 to shoot. James pulls up for 2. Won't go. 67-65, the Edge have regained the lead. Ellenson, the drive, floats it with the left hand, but short. And Derek Hall grabs board number 11 tonight. Greg Morrow, scoreless so far, drives and changes that. Ties the game with the left-hand finish. 67 apiece. Ellenson. He's watched by James defensively. Up top is Karan Williams. Williams gets some help from Charles Hinkle on the screen, floats it up with the left hand, draws the foul, goes crashing into the front row. And it looks like it's going to be Ahmad Starks picking up his first.
With Denzel James on the floor, living out a dream of his first season of NBL Canada basketball action. Always a dream to play professional basketball, and at the youth sports level, National Basketball of Canada, that is, for those who aren't familiar at the collegiate level. Anyways, he played with MacEwan University and became the school's all-time leading scorer out west. Had to deal with some adversity. School wasn't always his thing, and just trying to battle through that and still pursue the basketball career, and now ultimately in the fold with KW, living that out.
Morrow, the drive, and the finish. Back-to-back buckets from Greg Morrow, that time slicing through the defense, and gives KW the 1-point lead.
Very much vintage Greg Morrow there, a fellow U Sports grad.
Oh, pretty Euro step that time from Charles Hinkle. Restores the lead. Hurt, floats, misses. Hall fighting for the rebound. A foul going to be called on him, though, as Derek Hall gets charged with foul number 3. 70-69. Edge will have the ball and the lead when we come back. Titans have battled back a few times to take the lead in this second half. It's the first time they had the lead since the opening 2 minutes of the ball game, when they only led by 2. It's been a story of lead changes here. In the third quarter, 70-69, the Edge with the lead. Here's Karan Williams. Reed. These are for Russell Bird, who's back in the game in his return to Kitchener. Hinkle for 3. No good, long rebound, and Morrow the board. He's had a good third quarter since checking into the ball game. Back-to-back buckets.
Brought some good energy to the floor, that's for sure.
James, down low to Hall. Derek Hall watched by Reed, leaves it for Morrow on the outside. Back down to Hall with 7 to shoot. Nice pass from Hall down to Morrow, and he tipped it into his own bucket. Charles Hinkle has had one heck of a ball game, but those 2 points will not go under his name in the box score. It gives the Titans a 71-70 lead.
Thought for a moment it might have been Russell Bird there tipping it back in.
And he makes right up for it. Hinkle from deep. restores the St. John's edge.
Never use that one again. That's your one and done right there.
Pretty move under the hoop. Morrow grabs the rebound, although shot clock did not reset as it did not hit the rim. Hall misses the three. The foul is going to go on James. It's his third.
So Brempong is going to come back in with Reed shaking his head. A look of disgust on his face as he will take a seat. And Ed Horton back on. Ahmad Starks another couple minutes on the floor and still can't seem to get things going. And it still remains in that funk. He looked so good in spurts as we saw in that first quarter, but since then, it's been tough sledding. Bird with a free throw. Made.
Bird gets his first point of the evening as the Titans are now in the penalty. Just one team foul for the Edge in this third quarter. It's quite the opposite in the second, with the Edge getting the penalty early, while the Titans had something to give down the stretch, which led them being able to get the ball back late in the second half.
It's going to be a good test for the Titans, how they manage this game situation, as you said, with that bonus playing a factor now.
And with fouls to give, they're going to use one there. Bird called for his fourth foul. Bird, of course, providing some relief off the bench. Of course, English not in the ball game right now. Straight up in the air to James,
Good
almost a
save
turnover.
there by James as Hurt was a desperation heave there up top.
Horton, a deep three, no good. He was feeling it early on. I mentioned 18 points for him already. Ron Williams trying to go coast to coast and lays it in. Pretty move from Williams, and it's a 6-point St. John's lead. Hurt into the corner for James. Keeping on the perimeter here with shot clock down at 10. Hurt, little jab step into the corner. James, corner three, puts it in. Denzel James, 8 points tonight. It makes it a one-score game. There's about 3 to go here in the third. Brempong, nice feet down to Henkel, and the finish.
Yeah, just about to say, it's not too often that James puts up the totals that he has offensively here tonight, but a man who does so on a consistent basis with the response at the other end.
That time, Hinkle going to get called for his second foul. He mentioned just the team's third foul in this third quarter, and indeed, Coach Dunlap has seen enough English into the game as Hinkle checks out.
26 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists. 31 already was the second to last performance.
Horton gets the screen, tries the three and misses. Got some help from Derek Hall. Ellenson in transition, won't go. Brempong the offensive rebound and a fresh 24. English misses the three and a foul call on the offense. Looks like it's going to go on Brempong.
You can hear James all the way over here with the hauler, and just the level of aggressiveness he's got, or just how good he's feeling at the moment with his 8 points. And you look at the stat sheet, 8 points, okay, that's no big deal. But for him, you know, this is kind of, have to say, his best performance of the year.
Absolutely. Correction there as Wally Ellenson actually gets charged with his third foul.
And as frustrating as a year it's been for not only James but the Titans, these kind of small victories, they go a long way to building confidence.
Increased time in the rotation, flipping it up was Horton, couldn't get it to go, but Hall there to poke it right back in. I mentioned Hall, the only player in the league averaging double-digit rebounds per game. He's now got 12 to go along with 10 points. Williams step-back jumper won't go. Ellenson going for the rebound, and it looks like it's going to be Greg Morrow picking up the foul. And indeed it is. That's his second. On the year, Ellenson a 72% free throw shooter. Rice Lake, Wisconsin native, 1 for 2 at the line, but the long rebound chased down by Bird, and a fresh 24 for St. John's. Shamar Sutherland has checked back in. Oh, and English hits the floor hard, gets right back up. Him and Hall are barking at each other. Williams has to step in and intervene. They're still chirping. English hit the floor hard, and
I think that's
a little and they exchange hands, and Hall was saying he was simply trying to.
It looked a lot worse than it actually was here too, as both keeping it cordial, as give each other a bit of a high five, trying to give each other their case, but neither seeing still eye to eye. But it's English settling in for the free throws, and with Hall heading off, slight correction, this is double-double number 14 on the year here tonight with his stat line.
But now one of the big questions is, when can you bring him back? Hall had 4 fouls early last game. It comes a bit later tonight. The final 2 minutes of the third quarter, but regardless, your big man, 4 fouls, so Nigel Titer checks in for KW.
Will he take advantage like he did on Monday afternoon?
Horton gets the screen from Titer, over to Sutherland, leaves it for James. James, contested jumper, no good. Rebound being fought for on the baseline. Morrow comes up with it and the score.
Some hard work down low by Greg Morrow. Almost impossible angle and able to use his body. So he just muscle his way to the side of the basket and finally put it up and in.
Williams out to Bird, catch and shoot 3, no. And James standing his ground for the rebound.
When you love to see some points from Ed Horton right here, scoreless in the third quarter so far.
I think he heard you. 82-80. Horton hits the 20-point mark.
Just had that feeling, my friend.
Taking matter in his own hands and finishing with the left. About a 10.5 differential game clock, shot clock, so KW should get the ball to end the third, but St. John's trying to make it a 2-score game. English, the shot clock winding down. Sutherland tipped the shot, and that'll be a 24-second shot clock violation. Titans ball with 9.3 ticks left.
And 9 seconds left. English, 16 points, but it hasn't been easy for him here this evening either. It's been easy for Ed Horton, though, it seems like.
Ed Horton, 22 points, and ties the game, 82-82. Got 12 more minutes of exciting basketball coming your way. season series has been pretty interesting as far as the expansion franchise Edge and the Titans have gone this year. KW picked up a win in the Edge's first ever trip to the Odd. Then they went to St. John's, with the Edge taking both at Mile One Center, and then picked up another win against the Edge here at the Odd. So far, the home team has won every contest between the two this year. All tied at 82 with 1 quarter to play. Here's Karan Williams. Horton lost his footing, and Williams sinks the straightaway 3.
This crowd trying to get back into it. They're immediately silenced, though, with that quick 3.
Jamar Sutherland, watched by English, who's back to the ball game to start the 4th. So is Charles Hinkle, leading the way with 26 points. Horton, Morrow, 2 to shoot. The floater ties the game.
I get the feeling we're going to go back and forth here for a little bit. It might come down to the last minute or so to decide this one.
Correction on the last trip up the floor for Williams was actually a 2, but that is indeed a 3. Charles Hinkle, 8 3-pointers. Good for 29 points, with 15 of those coming in the first quarter alone. 87-84, Morrow for the tie, rattles it in. Morrow doing everything he can in the 4th quarter. Scores the Titans' first 5 points. And for the 6th time today, we are tied. English trying to roll off the screen, goes all the way across, almost into the front row, but somehow kept in. Ellenson and the loose ball, kick to Horton. Sutherland lays it in, and the Titans have taken the lead.
We haven't been able to say that all too often. Can they build off this, though? That remains the question. Wasn't answered the right way the first time they had the lead.
English the drive, and he'll get the roll.
The stops have to be more consistent here for KW if they want to pull this out and continue trading buckets.
18 points for English so far, relatively quiet by his standards. He was limited on the Edge's first trip to the Odd and did not play in the second due to injury. Horton, the drive, flips it up the left hand, and he'll head to the free throw line for a pair. Wally Ellenson gets charged with his 4th foul. With that, a couple substitutions. Alex Johnson, Desmond Lee, both into the game for St. John's, and Derek Hall will check back in for KW, playing with 4 fouls, but hard to ignore that stat line. 10 points, 13 rebounds, and the presence he brings on the floor is unmatched.
The guy you have to game plan and scheme for. He's going to play a factor. And with Hinkle's 29, you certainly don't have to worry about him putting up a season high. 53 being that total back just before Christmas on December the 15th against Windsor that he put up, but impressive performance nonetheless. And I was saying earlier, the 31 points he put up against KW, that came back on January the 13th. Back on the rock. So he's enjoyed the opportunities he's had to play the Titans, and I'm sure he'd love to get a W here and then take full advantage of the matchup in the next 2 games.
A win tonight by the Edge would move them within a half game of the Lightning for top spot in the division and the league. English draws the foul before the shot, so don't count the 3.
And the Express and Lightning in a barn burner themselves now in the 4th quarter, 83-80, the Express leading it.
So indeed a win by the Edge and a loss by the Lightning would move them into a tie for first. Hinkle, quick shot off the inbound, won't go. Was well off the mark. Regardless, 8 3-pointers tonight for Hinkle. The Titans have not led by more than 2 points. Have a chance to stretch it here. Sutherland watched by Hinkle. Sutherland along 2, no good. Long rebound, Derek Hall has it. And a new shot clock for Kitchener-Waterloo. Ed Horton.
Good job by the veteran just settling things down, get things organized. Gets the high screen now.
24 points, rolls off that screen, takes it into his own hands, misses. Hall fighting for the rebound, but Hinkle secures it.
It's a good take there, and a bitter strip there by James. Just a tough break as it rolled out of bounds as he slipped in an effort to dive for it.
And that happens in the middle of the floor, and it's most likely going to be Titans basketball, but regardless, great effort. KW still with the lead. St. John's inbound here in front of the scorers table. Ahmad Starks back into the game. Horton will head off for a rest. Certainly deserves it. 24 points so far.
Points in the paint has been the difference here tonight. KW's 40 to the 24 with St. John's, and I don't think they can continue nailing those jumpers down the home stretch. They won't have to necessarily worry about that, but certainly the attacking offense of the Titans has paid dividends here for them today. There's another two.
Sutherland, the floater over Carl English drops. Points number 11 and 12 for Tremar. A foul going to be called that time. It was either on James or Sutherland. And indeed, just waiting on the official scoring update, and indeed it is on Denzel James, his fourth. Hinkle lost it. Might have been clean. No.
Doesn't Hinkle know he's there, though, isn't he?
Hall was pointing back down the floor to indicate Titans ball, but indeed it was last touched by James. So still 16 to shoot off the inbounds. English trying to blow by Sutherland. He does. High off the glass and drops it in. Ties it again. 93-93.
Yes, he got around Sutherland, and the defender coming over to help. Forced a tough lay-in there from English, and now at the other end we have another foul against the edge.
Sutherland burns him, goes right at Carl English. And once he got the edge, English, playing no layup defense, commits his third foul. 2 team fouls aside in the early going of the fourth. We saw the edge get a penalty situation early in the second quarter, and then in the third it was vice versa. The Titans were in foul trouble early. Sutherland, 1 for 2 at the line.
So English coming out, Ellenson in. This is an interesting move here as Ellison hasn't put up the points.
Playing with 4 fouls as well.
Exactly it.
Just 1 for 7 from the field.
Well,
We'll make that 2 for 8.
I figure at least give him the breathing time for English to get fresh for the home stretch. See what he can give you if you're head coach Jeff Dunlap.
Ellenson, it's the 11th lead change today. James, the reverse, won't go. Hall trying to flick it up in the air to generate a second opportunity, and appears they got it. Looks like a foul was called that time. Indeed it was. Randy Glaze called for his third.
That's a very frustrated Glaze there baseline as Hinkle's trying to cool him down now and get him reset for the next inbounds play as he's still John. Probably loud enough for the official to hear, and now nearly a turnover.
James with a good play at center court to keep it alive. Into the corner for Sutherland. Hall lost it, but drew the foul. That one might be on Hinkle. It is. It's his third, so not quite in danger yet. But that's the 4th team foul for St. John's, so only 2 more to give.
You can tell he wasn't happy with that call either. Kind of a mocking applause there.
Hall off the inbound against Glaze. James back out to Starks as the Titans reset on the perimeter. Starks trying to roll off that screen from Hall. Back to Morrow. Morrow drives to the right hand, back out to Hall. In the paint, hook shot. And that's going to be goaltending. Goaltending called against the edge. Hall will get credit for the 2 points. And it's lead change number 12, 96-95. KW regains the lead. Alex Johnson, Canadian, crossover on Starks. Johnson, the leaner, won't go. Derek Hall with rebound number 16. Sutherland, back out to Starks. The pump fake. He wants to slow things down offensively. Sutherland, step back for 2, drops it in. Tremar Sutherland, And it's the biggest lead of the night for the Titans, 98-95.
Still some hesitancy, though, in Starks' game. Like, oftentimes we see him just take control and take that shot from that range and almost immediately looking to distribute. And there, another basket from Hinkle.
That's the 9th three-pointer tonight from Hinkle. That was 32 points. More importantly, tied again at 98. Hall, the pump fake, and the left-hand finish. A beautiful move from Hall along the baseline. Titans hit the century mark and have the lead. Johnson drives, flips it up, ties it again. Oh, what a game, going back and forth. We're not at 100.
Mentioned the 9 three-pointers for Hinkle. Season high is 12 in that 53-point performance.
Starks for three. It's his first points
Since the first quarter.
the opening minutes. He had 3 straight three-pointers to start the game. Now the Titans are up 3. Hinkle lost it on the floor. Glaze gets it back. Shot clock down to 7. Hinkle for the tie. It was tipped, and he drew the foul. Charles Hinkle fouled shooting 3, and he'll have a chance at the free throw line to tie the game.
And that's going to go against James, I do believe, and he can't believe it, but I can. You can see clearly from our booth here, just beyond the bench of the edge, he made contact, and so the edge will get 3 tries from the free throw stripe.
James, foul number 5, and it'll be Hinkle with a chance to tie it. Certainly crunch time now. Hinkle at the line, good on the first. Got fouled by James, shooting 3 in the corner, so Hinkle will have 3 tries to try and tie it inside the 5-minute mark. Hinkle misses the second. On the year, we mentioned Hinkle very strong from the free throw line, 90%. So he won't have a chance to tie it, but cuts the lead to 1. 103-102. James heads to the bench with 5 fouls, so Justin Hurt is back into the game for Kitchener-Waterloo.
And we haven't seen him for a while.
Starks on the outside against Williams. Derek Hall, huge night for him. 14 points, 16 rebounds. Starks for 3. That's well short.
Thought he got some contact. I didn't see any there, but let's get back to playing some defense and get a stop here if you're the Titans. I'm sure that's being hollered by head coach Churchland just there along the sideline as Williams, now the ball handler, looking down low.
Karan Williams out to Hinkle. 34-point effort from him. Reed backing down on Derek Hall. Reed the turnaround as the shot clock expires. The go-ahead bucket and the edge out in front again.
Yeah, he might not have as many rebounds as Derek Hall, but Ryan Reed has looked good tonight as well. Another pretty fade there.
Hurt slips around the defense and lays it in with the left hand. Nice play from Hurt. He's got 13 points, doing so rather quietly. 105-104, Kitchener-Waterloo. Williams, and that's a foul called on Starks, and he was moving. Didn't have his feet set by any accounts.
Just about to say that. Hurt, one of 6 Titans in double digits this evening. The Edge with 4 themselves. With the aforementioned Reed, English, obviously Hinkle, and Cron Williams.
Hinkle and English, they're the big boys. They've combined for 56 on the night. English looking to do more. It's going to roll out of bounds. It will stay with the Edge. There's 7 seconds on the shot clock.
Gotta get hands in the lane here for the Titans.
Hinkle right off the inbound, gets the baseline jumper to drop.
Not the option you wanted them to inbound as do, as you can see what he can do catch and shoot wise.
The clock stopped at 3:25. That's what they're barking about.
Well, not to mention Jeff Dunlap getting up and hollering at his teams, get stops, get stops. That's exactly what they need. As Gordon lets it roll past the midcourt line, and here are the Titans looking to restore their 1-point lead.
Sutherland right against English. High off the window and gets it to drop. What a bucket from Tremar Sutherland. 107-106.
Took some contact, still went up and got it off the window and in. Tremar Sutherland, strong play, just from about 5 feet out.
Ellenson off the screen from Reed. Hinkle. Horton's draped all over him. Hinkle, the leaner, won't get the roll. Long rebound, and Sutherland has it. Sutherland going right at English, floats it. It won't go. A near and one, but regardless, Tremar Sutherland is going to head to the free throw line with a chance at 2.
His bench is up, it is energized, and are those smiles on the Titans bench at the moment? We haven't seen many of those this season, but they're playing some good basketball. But again, 2:43, that's plenty of time. Only 1-point lead that you're nursing too. Keep the focus on playing tough defense and strong transition basketball.
Sutherland has really had a heck of a second half. He got into foul trouble in the first and had limited minutes, but has come out firing now with 19 points. And once again, it's a 3-point Titans lead.
The veteran Tremar Sutherland and Ed Horton, the 2 old goats, making their presence felt here tonight for the KW Titans.
Shot clock down to 7. Williams gets bumped, no foul. Jumper won't go. Hall was fighting for the rebound, and it was last touched by Williams out of bounds. Titans basketball. Desmond Lee going to check back into the ball game. Rather quiet night for him as Ellenson checks out. Also note that English is playing with 4 fouls. And again, so is Hall. Sutherland, the pump fake in the corner. He's got English draped all over him. Sutherland trying to cross him up inside. Left hand finish from Sutherland. What a play. 21 points for Sutherland, and it's the biggest lead of the night for the Titans. 111-106.
He's playing with a bunch of confidence right now. Tremar Sutherland having a fantastic evening here at the Odd.
Williams, the drive, had a wide open lane, wants contact, but he'll have to settle for 2. Back to a 1-score game.
This isn't going to come easy for KW, nor should it. 4-win team, you're going to have to earn everything you've got going forward. They're certainly making St. John's potentially earn another win on their campaign.
Hall was going up for the big-time jam. English did everything he could. He commits foul number 5, so 1 more. And the former Canadian national team product will be done if he commits 1 more. But in the meantime, it's Derek Hall stepping to the free throw line. 14 points tonight. got number 15 on the season. Hall shooting about 76% from the free throw line. So already put them up 2 scores, misses the second long rebound, and English has it. So just a 4-point game.
Need hands up on these shooters. Especially that man right there cutting it up top of Carl English. And not to mention the current ball handler of the Edge.
Hinkle got bumped, and the foul called.
So that's going against Ed Warden.
It's number 4 on him.
So one more to give here for KW as Denzel James is going to check back in for Ahmad Starks.
Thinking they don't want to use that foul to give anytime soon. The Edge will be inbounding with 1:07 to go and down 4. .106 to play, the inbound right to English. Had a man over to Hinkle for 3. No good. Able to pull down the rebound with one hand was Reed and draws the foul.
He's going to go against Hall here. Foul on the floor.
So Hall and English, one more, and either one of them are done. 5 fouls apiece. And the Titans with no more to give. They need 2 scores here to tie it. Hinkle, count it, and the foul. What a night for Charles Hinkle. He'll have a chance for a 3-point play.
Some good basketball IQ there from Hinkle as Sutherland trying his darndest to get through all that traffic. Got there late to challenge Hinkle as he received that pass. And Hinkle's like, well, I might as well go here. And he did. Taking it right to the paint, right at the rim, and there you saw the result as he was also fouled. Now a chance to make it a 1-point ball game.
Hinkle gets that one to drop. 112-111. Got 48.8 ticks left, and Coach Langis to talk things over.
Pick her up for our game day
Samad Starks off the inbound. Back to Ed Horton, having one heck of an evening, 24 points. Hurt, driving, the runner, no good. Reed pulls down the rebound, and the Edge with a chance at the lead. 13 seconds, well, actually about 11 to 12, the difference between the two clocks. Williams, the step back is short and into the hands of Starks. The Titans don't need to rush. They don't even have to get a shot off, so the Edge have to foul. I think it took them a second to realize that.
That's just it. The assistant coaches are both in midair hollering at them with a foul, and they didn't have anything to give, but you're right. At least another 3 seconds. I think it was close to 3 seconds. Ran off the clock, and the Titans with 14.6 will head to the line. And it's Ed Horton.
He's 7 for 8.
Ed Horton has been shooting quite well, as you just laid out for us, and Jamar Sutherland as well.
8 for 18 from the floor tonight.
21 points, two shy of tying a season high of 23, which he's done twice, and that's a big miss right there.
Misses a crucial first free throw. Horton now 7 for 9 from the stripe. This one to make it at least a 2-point game. Also no good. Sutherland battling for it, and the Edge have it. Both teams with 2 timeouts left, but the Edge don't call one. Hinkle for the lead. No good. Up in the air. Hurt has it, and they're forced to foul again.
They had it, and Hinkle knows it. Hands on his head. That's who he wanted to have the basketball in that moment. And now some confusion at the scorer's table.
They're trying to call a timeout before he goes to the free throw line, but it appears they might have called it a little too late. So Justin Hurt steps to the free throw line. 2 trips tonight, 13 points for him.
And Hurt would love nothing more than to let these fans breathe a bit more to make it a 2-point deficit.
At least 2 now.
Oh, you got to make it 3.
You make it 3.
That's the understatement of the night.
The pressure's on. Hurt, an 87% free throw shooter in his 7 appearances so far with the Titans. Good on both.
You could hear a pin drop there on that last free throw. Just an air of nervousness.
Ed Horton couldn't convert, but Justin Hurt sure can. 114-111. The Edge will have the ball. The Edge will make one more trip to the odd later in March, but the loss tonight would drop them to 0-3 all-time in Kitchener. But first, sort out something at the scorer's table. And indeed, it's Coach Landis wanting to talk things over. They had 2 left, might as well burn one here before their defensive stand. English, Reed, Williams, and Hinkle all back out for the Edge.
I think it's a safe bet. They're going to be trying to find this young man here.
Charles Hinkle, what a night he's had. English, the inbound. Back to English. English for the tie. No good. And the Titans escape with the win. 114-111. Their 5th win of the season. They snapped the losing skid.
And 3 against the
And
Edge.
their 3rd win against the Edge this year. 3 of 5 coming against this expansion franchise, the Edge, who came in just a game out of first place in the Central Division. They'll head home having split their Ontario road trip 2-2. Can't say enough. Ed Horton, 24 points, and he came up big when they needed him.
And Shamar Sutherland with a big second half himself as the KW Titans continue this impressive run against the St. John's Edge, who they'll be facing in the very near future. The Titans back here at the odds Saturday night, the second half of a back-to-back with a Windsor Express, which begins on Friday.
Charles Hinkle, 39 points. He dropped 9 triples in this one. Carl English, 22 of his own, was playing with 5 fouls down the stretch. Derek Hall, yet another double-double, 15 points, 16 rebounds. Sutherland and Horton, both with 20+. And you mentioned now the Titans, they embark to Windsor on Friday, the front end of a back-to-back. You can catch that one on YouTube. And we'll be right back with you on Saturday night. The Titans in the Express. KW, they improved to 5-20, 114-111 the final. A big win over St. John's. For Ian Jodry, Dan Paulchuk, we'd like to thank you for tuning in, and good night from Kitchener.